Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Jordan,
Good morning.
Jackson.
Hello.
So we're going to do, this might bore some people, but we're going to do a real estate one.
I don't think it'll bore anybody,
I think so, if they're not a real estate agent, if they want to listen to real estate.
but it's more of a business
yeah,
podcast.
business, sales, things like that.
Anything that you do in real estate can go across to most businesses, you would think.
It can. On that note, we've had quite a few people join the Ultimate Agent who aren't in real estate, and they write to me and say, this is an amazing system. I've put this in my business is doing this, and I'm not saying other people go join it, but if you're a real estate agent, you need to be in it. Did you see the comment the other day? Someone wrote, they say there's no silver bullets, but the Ultimate Agent is the silver bullet.
Yeah.
I just hardly promote it.
I haven't seen it. Why don't you promote it?
I don't know. I'm just not really I look at Grant Cardone and I watch how much he just rams things down people's throats.
It's got to be a happy medium though, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just promoted it then. So that'll do for this year. I just think it's really good. And if something's really good, people will just want it anyway.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like that a little bit. And I feel like when people push things really hard, there's an edge of it's like it feels like not that authentic. Like it's like they're trying to get your money. I've just got this thing, at seminars when they give a talk, and at the end of the talk they go, you can get my system. It's usually $5,000, but today it's $997. And I'm like, you just wrecked your whole talk.
Yeah.
Like I've always just felt that myself. So I don't know. Maybe I do need to promote things a little bit more, but I just sort of feel like it's just going to get out there in the way it does anyway. And if it's really, like I said, if it's really good, people will go, have you used Matt's system? It's literally changed I reckon, because it's been around a long time, was the Matt Steinway system. Then it turned into Agent School because I did it all. So the Matt Steinway system has two versions. One that was like 20 years old, sold thousands and thousands of copies when they were CDs. And then I made it newer, like about 6 years after that. And then CDs aren't around anymore. So I re-recorded the whole thing on video in Agent School, like 12 sections. And then I redid it all again into the Ultimate Agent. But the Ultimate Agent's even better. Like the Ultimate Agent is like today, but also it's got social media.
Yeah, it's not all about real estate.
No, it's like Imi's got a whole section about social media presence and building personal brand. We've got Lane Dixon in there about databasing. We've got so much things in there for people that it's morphed into something way better. So anyway, let's go. You're going to take over today.
Am I taking over?
Well, I think so.
Yeah, we're doing a real estate.
I'm doing a real estate one.
I'm
Let's do
excited
it.
about a real estate podcast.
Yeah, me too.
But where do you want to start?
No idea. You said you want to do real estate. You said that'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Like, do we just start on the questions and just
You can just run this one completely,
and
Jordan.
see if they flow? Well, I think it's probably good to start with the questions and then we can elaborate on it.
Do it.
Because there's actually some really good ones.
Well, you just put a post up.
I did
said
put a
to
post
you,
up.
well, maybe you should put a post up last night. It was about 8 o'clock with some questions. But we could talk about real estate all day long.
Yeah.
But it's, yes.
Like I said to you, it's great for all businesses. The interesting thing that I see is, and you're like the king prospector, there's not many other businesses that actually prospect like real estate agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do marketing and things like that. But when's the last time? I can't remember the last time that I got a call from any business.
Well, I'll name one. The Mormon Church.
They are a business.
They have thousands and thousands and thousands of 19-year-old men door knocking. It's called a mission. So they go, when you're 19, go out on a mission, you come back when you're 21. You get sent to another country usually. And you just door knock every day.
Did you do that for the Mormon Church?
No, I was too old when I joined the Mormon Church. But that's what they do. And it just grows the church.
I wonder what their dialogue is.
Hi, I'm Elder Jordan from the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Then if the door doesn't slam in their face by then, it's like, so I got a message from about Jesus Christ. Do you want to hear it? Something
because
like that.
it's a bit of
I don't know. I've never done it. I'm just guessing.
Private, personal thing. Religion?
Almost. Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. But, you just never know when the person is ready to hear the message that day. I was at some point, or not. Sort of yes and no. Like I just joined because of Jackson's mum. I was like, because her mum said she can't go out with non-Mormons, sorry, mate, and send her to Queensland. So get away from me. So I thought, oh, buggy you, I'll just join the church.
I wonder if there's ever been a Mormon, someone that is involved in the Mormon church that's ever converted into real estate and is just the king of door knocking. Like he's just doing a dual message. You got two options today. You're going to hear about religion, or do you want to sell your house?
It probably is.
Pick one or both.
Yeah. I know Mormons that have decided to be real estate agents. They haven't stuck in it.
It's not against religion?
No, not at all.
Do you want to just start off with some questions?
Yeah, go.
There's some good ones, but this is probably one that we can flow off. Someone said, is it sustainable to sell certain houses across multiple suburbs/city, specializing in a specific home and price range rather than having a patch?
No. Well, it is, but it's extremely, you got to see it as depth. That's just how you see it. So the more houses you do, the shallower you're going to go. So personal brand is about depth. So that's why 1,000 homes or 1,500 homes, you can go real deep over a long period of time. Whereas if you've got I can't work two areas myself, and you say I'm the king of prospecting, I can't do it properly. It actually dilutes your efforts and dilutes your saturation. So if you've got 10,000 homes, sure, you're going to meet people. You probably do okay. But you're not going to be your personal brand is not going to be as deep as it would with 1,500 homes. Because you go fast forward 10 years, and what sort of depth have you created across 1,500 as opposed to 10,000?
Yeah. And that's probably what I'm starting to learn now, because I come into the team not exactly as, like, if I didn't come in as a brand new agent that had to learn how to work an area. I started as a cadet, and then I was like a cadet/buyer agent, and then I was your buyer agent, and then I was a buyer agent with a bit of listings, and I was 50% listing and 50% buyer agent, and then now I'm probably 90% listing and 10% selling, or somewhere around there. So my progression has been very different. So I hadn't really had to learn an area from the beginning. I could just run on the momentum of the team. And I always used to look at an area and go, that's way too slow. Like, there's that much stuff here that I can see. I'll just put all this together. Like, if I go over there, that's going to take me so much longer to build traction. But then what happened in the business is I'm like 20 minutes that way, 30 minutes that way, an hour the other way, have no idea what the house is worth, can't get them sold because I'm not dealing with any of the buyers. So I had all of these listings, but nothing was selling.
Yeah.
And I was like in this mental breakdown state all the time because I didn't know where to from there.
And it's very hard to break that habit because you created a habit in chasing the low-hanging fruit.
I still waver into it even now.
You do.
Yeah.
Which is natural. You know, you go where the excitement is. But now what's happening is the low-hanging fruit is starting to become more in your radius, the radius of your personal brand. And I said to you the other day, so you sold a house up in Nora Head a few months back. And Nora, just for people to understand, it's like a 40-minute drive from where we are. You sold that house and you got zero impact from your personal brand or flow on.
And it was like the greatest auction campaign.
It was fantastic.
It had like 150 people there, went well over reserve. The bidding was crazy.
Yeah.
Not one person even said to me that they'd seen it.
Exactly. And then I said to you, Jordan, the way you got to see it is when you sell a house in your patch, it's like this moment in time. It's a bit like a great auction. You know, like there's with an auction campaign, there's this one great moment in time at the auction, that 30 minutes. Never is recreated, just that one moment of compressed energy. And I said to you, you got to see it now. This is just the other day we were talking about this. I was in the sauna and I rang you. I said, George, I want you to see it like this now. When you sell a home in your patch, it brings you 5 others. And your personal brand gets electricity around it because you've created this result that everyone sees and feels. But when you sell a home that's 30 minutes away or 40 minutes away, no one knows you've done it. The flow on, you don't want it for a start. You don't want another 2 listings out there because your focus goes over there instead of building your presence in your backyard that goes, imagine having 10 open houses on a Saturday and they're all in your patch. Imagine what impact that has. Someone pulls up, Wombrel, and you've got 15 of the first listings
Yeah.
on realestate.com. Imagine.
Yeah.
Who's going to care if you pull up Nora Head and you've got Jordan Bulmer with one random listing over there? Sure, it might be a nice house, but you've got to think later. You're building your presence later. I think that's where a lot of agents almost get a bit stuck. It's like working for no reward now for huge reward later.
Yeah.
But all concentrated in the high-hanging fruit. That's the secret to this. It's nurturing the high-hanging fruit over a period of time that it's like the auction campaign, all comes together at one point, and that's what happens with your career. It took me about 3 years, but it could take 1 year, it could take 5 years. But if you farm the area well enough, you'll come up with this crop that becomes unbeatable.
Yeah. And they're the best listings, right? Because
Yeah.
you normally aren't contesting for them.
Yeah.
They're full fee, full marketing, and you actually know what to do with them in regards to the process.
Yeah, they want you. Like I went to a house yesterday. I've sold a couple of properties for the people right in our core area. And the people just said, I just sat down. I didn't even do anything. Just sat down. We just had a chat. And they go, how much? I said, 2, maybe a little bit more, maybe up to 2. And they go, yeah, we thought 2.1, 2.2. Okay, we'll call you when we're ready. It'll be like within a year, but it'll be earlier than that. They're just moving towards where their son is. They said, we'll just call you when we're ready. I said, yeah, great, thanks, bye. Gave him a kiss, talked about the dog, and off I went. So that's the type of business you want in the future. They didn't say how much was your marketing campaign. They didn't say this other agent is doing this. Imagine you just had one of those appointments a day, just one.
Yeah, like basically just signing it up.
And it doesn't need to be tomorrow, but the flow on is you've got all this staggered time. So someone's ready in 3 months, someone's ready today, someone's ready in a year, someone's ready this. Imagine that was your hot list.
It's what I thought. That's what I was thought about because you tell me to do these things, but I almost have to work it out on my own a little bit. When I went and sat with James Tostovan and he just calls a list of 1,000 people, but they're a bit everywhere. I used to always think, like, what do you tell these people almost?
Let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say James Tostovan is the greatest agent in Australia. Like he there's a couple, but I've really admired James Tostovan for 30-something years. But he doesn't work an area. He works a database.
Yeah.
But he goes deep on his database. I don't do that much. Well, I do sort of differently, but he doesn't work like Terrigal. He works suburbs, but they're all around each other. But he chose to work his database. You can do that. I don't think it's for everyone, but he's a machine. You got to understand that guy prospects hours a day. Most agents won't do that. He is unique to this industry.
And it's the same thing.
Principle. It's the same principle.
And over and over again.
It's exactly the same. But he's like 0.1% of mindsets in this business. Let's ring him.
See if he
All right?
answers.
Let's see. No. Let's ring him for 1 sec. I just want to show you something. All right. Let's just see if we're in. What's the date?
24th, I think.
Okay.
Hi, it's James Tostovan speaking for Marshall White. On Tuesday, September 24th. I'm not available currently, but your call's important to me. Could you please leave your name and number and return your call as soon as I can? I hope you have a great day.
So it's 7:30 on the 24th. His answering machine already says, good morning, it's James Tostovan on the 24th of September, la, 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 la. He's done that for more than 30 years. He's done that for as long as I can remember. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy is a freak because like I'm wired very similar, but we have different business systems.
So he's got up this morning
every day.
And
But
prob-
don't forget what I'm saying here. Like, please don't forget 30
Yeah.
years, Jordan. That's a long time to change your answering machine.
Yeah, no, he hasn't gone. You know what? I might do it a little different this year.
Yeah. Or
hasn't
forget
changed.
how many people, hi, I'm away on annual leave, blah, blah, blah. That was like 3 weeks ago. I hear it sometimes on people. I say, change your message bank. It says you're on annual leave. Oh, yeah, I've got to remember to do that.
So on that again, and this is me thinking out loud why working in area is better and how I've really worked that out beside you and going through getting my own scars and things along the way is I just said to you I've gone from one side of Womble to the other and I'm a bit like, what do I tell these people again? And it gives you the ability to saturate in other ways, like with your socials and direct mail and all that sort of stuff. James would have trouble without the phone calls because somebody in that suburb, the communication there wouldn't be relevant to somebody in another suburb. But if you're working in an area and you're letting people know about listed, sold, something cool, I don't know, anything, whatever that is, it's relevant to those people. So it takes a bit of the heavy lifting off.
It does. Do you want to let Stormy in, Jack? Just let her in, just wander around. Yeah, it does. But I think also you just said something really funny then. Like you said, I've gone from one side to the other and I don't know what to say now. But I think agents, if she's gone, it's fine. Oh, there she is. I think agents overcomplicate this. They do exactly what you're saying. I've talked to everyone. Okay, great. Do it again. Do it again. And I sent you a video this morning. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You did? Mm-hmm. What was it about?
What's the gentleman's name?
Jesse Itzler, I think.
Here's the coconut water. Good morning, Snorri.
Yeah.
He said, I wrote 8 to 10 handwritten cards for 30 years.
Yeah. What did I say to you yesterday?
We're not writing enough handwritten cards.
I said, I haven't seen any. Are you guys writing handwritten cards? I haven't seen many. You're like, oh, yeah. I think you lie to me half the time, all of you. But just to keep me happy in the moment. But there's a secret to this.
Yeah.
Every agent watching this, I want to ask them, how many handwritten cards did you write yesterday? If that guy started an airline, that guy started coconut water, sold it to Coke for $750 million. He's a billionaire, that guy. His wife is a billionaire. They're in their own rights. In their own right. They both started businesses and he talks about the simplest things. He talks about handwritten cards. So it's like, how many did you write yesterday? And I'm not asking you, but it's anyone watching this. If you're in a business, how many handwritten cards did you write yesterday? The impact a handwritten card can make is immeasurable. Immeasurable. So when it doubles the connection, actually, I reckon it 5 times the connection. Because if I rang you and say, hey, Jordan, it's Matt from McGrath. Do you want to sell your home? No, thanks. And I wrote you a card. Hi, Jordan. Really nice to speak to you yesterday. Appreciate the time you took to chat to me. If you ever need anything in the future, give me a call. If you did that and that was in your letterbox, handwritten, how would you feel?
Special.
Special.
Someone's taken the time and effort out of their day to write the card.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder how many chiropractors wrote a handwritten card yesterday. I wonder how many butchers wrote a handwritten card yesterday. You know, I went to a butcher shop, best meat on the coast, to get Stormy some food. I thought she had a bit of eczema on her nose. So I went to the butcher's and I know nothing about dogs, don't pretend to, but I want Stormy to grow up and be amazing, like health-wise. I went in there and the lady was so helpful. So helpful. Like she goes, oh, you're Phoenix's dad. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, my son pays union, blah, blah. She goes, she didn't say no. She goes, you're Matt. And I'm like, yeah. And we got talking. It's quite a busy shop. And she goes, I said, look, I've got a pup, 9 weeks old, German Shepherd. What do I feed her? I want to feed her meat. I want to feed her the right thing. She said, oh, this. Spend a bit of time. I think you should get this. She goes, hang on, I'll just ask the butcher. Young guy. It's like a nice butcher shop. There's about 5 or 6 butchers in there. She walked over and said, oh, this gentleman has a pup. What should he feed her? And he's sharpening his knife, cutting the things just over there, like the ribs or whatever. He didn't even look. He just like half went, and just like that. Completely changed I was like, oh, this is so helpful. I don't think he was not interested. I think he was just, instead of going, oh, hey, mate, I'm Jake. Tell me about the dog, German Shepherd. Yep, we've got this. I would be a client for life. Like I literally, once I find the right, but I left there going, he just seems so uninterested. Smallest thing. Great meet. Very helpful lady. His lack of eye contact, didn't even go, oh yeah. Like, oh, hey mate, how you going? Like, nothing like that. Completely changed the experience. Completely. And I remember it. Like now I'm talking to thousands of people about it. I remember it. I'm like, it's weird. Like just seemed, because it's important to me, but not important to him. But that one client, me today, could be a 10-year client. I've got to go and buy more brisket today and I'm thinking of things to buy her. So I want to buy her more stuff. And I'm like, should I go back there? That's sort of what I think. Should I go back there? Think about the impact a handwritten card makes.
Yeah, massive.
Massive. If you wrote, and I suggest you do today, if you wrote Cookie a handwritten card and said, I love you, that's all I want to say, how would she feel?
She'd feel massive.
She would.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that today?
I would.
Yeah.
I do. I will.
And you talk about business and real estate and things. It's the smallest things that make the biggest impact. The smallest. James Tostivan's date on his thing, I remember that. I'm not his client. I remember that.
And what a talking point for people in his area.
Absolutely.
You'd almost be trying to get him. Like,
yeah, you're almost trying to catch him out. I've tried.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've rang so many times over the years and I've tried. And it's always that. So to me, I'm like, he must get up at like 4:30 and change his answering machine. Like he must. I don't know. I'm picturing it. Or does he do it the night before? Or is it? But what it says to me is he's bankable and he's consistent and he cares. That's what it says to me. So I'm like, there is no secret to business apart from care factor 100. Care more than the next person. You're not always going to get it right. That's why with you, when we fight, I know you care. So we're always going to work it out. Otherwise, I just say, get out of here, mate. You're not for us. And you've watched me sack people after a number of days.
I have.
You have.
Yeah,
the guillotine, boom,
almost
done.
Hours.
Yes. But with you, you're still here arguing with me 7 or 8 years later.
It's funny. Somebody wrote this question, which is a good lead on. They said, Matt's pretty hard on you. Can you ask Matt if he thinks that is the best management structure? Doesn't he ever wonder, doesn't he ever worry some of his staff may leave? Does he ever say that you're doing anything well with a laughing face?
Well, let's ask my son, Jackson. This is a good reference point.
Yeah, it's sometimes I don't know. He usually turns into like, Dad, if you're doing something wrong or something that he thinks is wrong, he'll go off at you. But it's always in like a caring manner, and it'll be like sometimes it'll come off really harsh, and then towards the end it'll turn into like sort of like a TED talk, and you'll walk out of there feeling motivated.
You said to me once, you said, I'm training you to be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah. No, would you please, Jack?
You said, do you think the Olympic athlete lets his swimmer off and gets him up and cuddles him and says, God, you're good. You got nothing to improve on. I'm never going to tell you that you're doing anything wrong. I'm just going to pat you on the back and tell you how brilliant you are. And he goes, no. And you said, no, that they're yelling at them from the side of the pool going, swim harder, kick better.
Absolutely. So,
but is there a balance?
Is there a balance?
And can all staff be put through the same, can all staff be put through the same pressure cooker?
In my team,
yeah.
In my team, yeah. I don't manage the business. Let's make it very clear. We probably wouldn't have a business if I managed the business. True. You know, we have a management structure. We have Jamie. Jamie is my mediator. Like, he's my sounding board. I'll ring him and get rid of this person. It's driving me nuts. He's like, no, you got to look at it this way. So I'm very open to learning as well. I don't pretend to be some phenomenal business person because I'm not. Good real estate agent, just not a great business person. But in our team, that's the vibe. I see it as and you got to lead by example. You have to. Like, the way I treat you is the way I treat me. And you know that. You absolutely know that. I'd give you anything, but I'd also tell you you're a friggin' idiot at the same time if you are. I would. Yeah. I'd say, Jordan, pull your head in. And I have. You know, riding your moped down the middle of Terrigal, these sorts of things, and all this being a hoon and whatever. I just like, Jordan, that's not the go. But I see it like that. Do you want if you're a swimmer training for the Olympics, Do you want a coach that's just sitting in the chair going, yeah, that's a good lap. Good on you, mate. Excellent. Well done. Do another one. Or do you want the one down the side of the pool going, go harder, go harder, go harder. We're here for 30 minutes. You make it work. Which one do you want?
Kind of pushes you.
One that pushes you.
If that's what you want out of your career.
If that's what you want. That's what I said to this on our series that we're watching, that we're making about Journey Back to Number One.
Yeah.
I said at the very beginning, first video, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. We're not trying to shoot for number 550. We're trying to shoot for number one. Number 550, which who cares? Just do whatever. See what happens. We're shooting for number one. We're 30% increasing our business. We're working at capacity right now, Jordan. So when I say like we're 30%, where are we supposed to get that from? You know, my life today is vastly different than it was 20 years ago. So I'm like, how do I manage all this? I woke up today, Tara's overwhelmed, Summer's yelling, Stormy's running around, things are happening. Breathe, you know, but I've got great people with me. All of us are great people working together, but you know where I stand. It's like, come with me or get out.
Yeah.
That's sort of how it is.
It is.
Jordan, I've always said to you, I want you to be twice as successful as me if you want it. If you want it, I'll help you. I know how to get to here, but I'll go here with you. That's what I want for you.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, but that's what I want for you. If you want it. I've said it the whole way along. You've got this huge ambition, and I'm like, I'll help you get there. Same as with Jackson. I'm like, with Jackson, he wants to have a media company. I'm like, well, let's do it. Let's build a media company so he doesn't have to sit with me every day. I know he doesn't want to half the time, but it's like he wants an editor to work with him. It's not going to fall out of the sky. It'll come, but there's a price to pay. And the problem is a lot of people aren't willing to pay the price or stick to it consistently enough. It's a consistent price for a long period of time. Then it will come. I listed a house with John McGrath yesterday. Last week. Amazing house. Going to another one with him today. That guy was following me up so hard. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have we heard back? What are we doing here? I'm like, can you stop ringing me? Like, he was just on me like nothing else in a good way, but he knows what I'm capable of and he knows what he wants. At the time, I'm like, Johnny, I know what I'm doing, like in my head. But after it, I'm like, that's impressive. That guy does not need to follow that listing up or me. He could sit in his office and do what he's doing. He does not need to.
It's just in his DNA.
It is. He wants to be better and better. Sometimes he rings me. He rings me all the time. Sometimes he rings me and says, I reckon we go for this part of the market. This is what we need to do. What do you think of this? La, 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 bouncing it around. Even for Eric, he might ring me 3 or 4 times and ask Tara about the speakers. Like he said, can you ask Tars, what about this speaker? Can you ask Tars, what about, because he likes the girls' opinion on things. He says the girls are always right. So he goes, can you ask Tars about Ryan Reynolds? Can you ask Tars about Reese Witherspoon? Can you ask Tars? He could just go, I've done 8,500 Erics. I'm just putting on, I know what they need. He's the most open learning guy you've ever seen in your life. But the thing is, he runs faster than me.
After all these years.
Yeah, I get inspired by that. So I think to myself, I've got to be better. And out of this, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to design a few new things. Our magazine's coming, this and that's coming. Like he's really got me thinking. So who do I want to be with? John McGrath? Or do I want to be with the guy on the corner at the local brand where I can come and go as I please and no one really tells me anything?
That's a boring career. That's a really boring career. Do you want a couple more?
Yeah, for sure.
Would like to know what about real estate excites and lights you both up? Is it helping others or negotiations? You just started because you got into it and wanted to win. I just love beating the living daylights out of my competition.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do because most of them are my friends.
Yeah, they are.
I just want to win against them. They taunt me.
They taunt you.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
right.
and I like getting good prices for people.
I think that
And
drives
great
us
service.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that drives us both. Good prices for people. I see it as sort of like it's almost like a protection thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's, yeah. even though when I was a criminal, when I was younger and in that underworld thing, I always was a good criminal. Like I always was like, when I say criminal, like I always I only ever liked doing things to other in that scene, not just to normal people. Like, sometimes there'd be a drug dealer in a club and I just go and take all these drugs and then say, what are you going to do about it? And I'd be like, eh. And then things like that. Like it was sort of that sort of thing. And then, but now I see price like that. Like I'm like, let me just protect you and get the best price we can. Like the auction on the weekend. We had a great auction on the weekend and every other agent would have made the owner take the offer that was there, but I passed it in and got more money for the lady. She's so pumped, pumped. But every other agent would have went and worked on the owner. But I'm like, nah, I know there's more money there. I'll go get that.
And I've been lucky to be trained like that too.
Yeah,
because it's become a part of my DNA. Because I've watched that for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
Times where I would think, even myself would think, gee, maybe we should have pinned that down.
And there's been times we've been not wrong exactly. We've given it a crack and it hasn't quite worked out.
It's come back 2 weeks later and we've been at the same price or something.
Same price.
But at least we tried.
Yeah.
I think people respect that as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't like forcing people to do things with their property. So I always say there's two reasons people won't reduce price: service or evidence. So the agent service, if it's been lackluster, they won't listen to you. Evidence, if you don't have any evidence why they should reduce price, they're not going to listen to you. If they're both of them together, then they're going to reduce the price. But it's like I don't like the feeling when they start to go, I don't know what this agent's agenda is.
Yeah.
Like there was a model, a franchise model years ago that tried to train us about just hammer the owner during an auction campaign, just work on the owner, down, 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 down. It just never felt right to me. I didn't like it one bit. So I've never done that. I'd rather pass it in. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, sure, it doesn't sell on auction day. Who cares? The world's still going to spin around, but I think it's flat anyway. But the world's still going to spin around. But it's like, I don't want the owner to wake up the next day. I always think when they wake up the next day, how are they going to feel? Doesn't mean the price is always fantastic, but they know you worked on it together.
I'll jump in here because I've been here a couple of times just recently. The good thing about our business is that no sale changes our lives because we've always got so much going on.
Yeah.
So that I've never had a feeling ever in my career, lucky enough working in a great team, that I need to get this sale done in order to pay my
last
bill.
month was pretty lean.
Yeah, but we made it work,
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a good thing. I think when you're an agent that's listing to and selling to, you're like, I have to get this deal done, otherwise I'm not going to be able to feed my family.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, go.
Just while you're saying that.
Yeah.
And I think culture too. I think our company culture is like that. Our company culture is the opposite. I think some company cultures are all about jamming it together at all cost.
Yeah. Yeah, but leading on to that, there's been a couple of times recently where I've known in my heart, I'm like, this is going to be a train wreck. Like if we do not take this offer, I can mark my words, in 3 months' time, we're going to be $150,000 less. We're going to have 3 months of sleepless nights. We need to pin this down. And people have gone, we want to keep going. And you allow it, but you almost want to shake them and go.
See, this is what you're learning.
And
though.
I'm like, that's the bit. Whereas a young agent, like I say to you, you say you really need to take this deal. And not all the time, I'm sure, but most of the time they will. But when you're a younger agent, it doesn't have as much cut through. You know it, but it's much harder to make that moment count.
What's the number one thing you're changing in your business now lately? I don't know if you're going to remember it, but what's the number one thing that you've changed in your business now?
My set to sell meetings?
Set to sell.
Yeah.
It is the most important meeting you'll have with an owner. The set to sell is the most important meeting.
Yeah.
And you'll have a 10-point set to sell thing, which we're going to change a little bit as well.
Well, we've been training on it almost every couple of days.
You didn't do it or stopped doing it for a while, and all your listings were just misaligned. When I say all of them, a lot of them were misaligned. It was really difficult for you. One of the key things I say in a set to sell meeting is I'll know when we find the right buyer. Because it doesn't matter which house you're selling, you've got to find someone that loves it or really likes it and it suits them. I say, when I find this buyer, that buyer, regardless of price, I'm going to let you know because that's who we're looking for. Then we're going to establish price, and I'll let you know I'll only ever make one recommendation when you should sell the house. Only one. when I feel we've exhausted price and we've got the buyer that matches. If it's a buyer that doesn't quite match it, you're not going to get a good price because their emotion isn't high enough. But if you've got a buyer that really matches it and their budget allows for it, you're going to get a reasonable price, whatever that may be. I'll let you know when we're there. But if they don't quite have the budget and they match the house, if they're just stretching to get there, we'll assess it together and see how you feel. When you say it like that in the set to sell, then you've set it up for later. So if you get the best buyer and say, Jordan, remember I said to you, we're going to look at if the buyer really matches the house. Let me just run you through. Their kids go to school down the road. They want 4 bedrooms. They want a north-facing backyard. They really love this street. They've been looking for a little while now. They've looked at these houses. They've been looking for a few months. These are a 10 out of 10 match buyers for your house. 11 out of 10. Everything about it. Their offer is this. How do you feel about it?
I'd like a little bit more.
A little bit more. Let's go for a little bit more and see what happens. I agree with you. Let's see what's there. But when we get to the end, I'll let you know. We'll make a decision together. When you do it like that, you're not like springing offers on them. You're talking about their match for their house. Because if you've got a Toyota and you're trying to sell it to a Honda buyer, they don't love it as much. But if you've got a 2019 Land Cruiser where I can drive the dog around and it's
got a squeaky wheel and a smashed window.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all in. You can't sell me a Honda.
I'll pay more.
But when you say it like that, so the set to sell meeting needs to be a carefully constructed meeting where you spend time and set everything about the sale up there because that's where your anchor point. Because later when you're negotiating, you said, Jordan, remember I told you we're looking for the match for the house.
Yeah.
We're looking for the match. We've been through 48 people so far. We found this person. This is a 10 out of 10 match. This is what they can offer. This is the reason they're offering it. And then it becomes a different conversation.
That's great advice. And that has changed.
Jackson bored listening to the real estate one?
Not at all.
No? Okay.
I'm a homeowner this week, so
You are a
excited.
homeowner. Very excited for you, Jackson.
Exciting stuff.
I'm actually pumped for you.
Me too.
Yeah, it's your first property.
I'm just keen to wake up the next morning. Like,
Yeah.
when you wake up, you're like,
What day do you settle?
I think Sunday and move in Monday.
Oh, you settle on Friday then, so move in Monday.
Move in Monday.
Yeah,
Yep.
1st of October. What day is that?
It's Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you move in Monday. It settles on the 30th.
Yes, it was on the 30th.
That is Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Huh? Maybe the solicitors will settle on Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Very exciting.
Very good.
Basically, in summary, it says, what's your plan with properties that have been on the market for 3 to 4 months and have seemed to have gone stale, but the owners still want to work with you? Is there a plan
Just
to
keep going.
re-energize
Just
them?
keep going. Like, seriously, keep going. How many times have you seen a property sit on the market for months and months and months and you just keep – it's all about your energy. It's all about your energy. You'll get through anything with a girlfriend if you like her. If you don't like her, you won't want to be with her. Nothing can make you do that. So if you still have energy around the house and you still like it and you still like the owners, 120 Clyde Road, Kerry and Kin, K-I-N, Finelli, Lee. Kerry and Kin, Lee. I thought 3 million at the beginning. It didn't, and not much was happening. Got about a month into it, maybe not quite even, and I said, we need to reduce it to 2.7. I think I just misguided you in the beginning. It's just I thought it was there. Hard one to price, sort of slopey acres, really nice view. I think I've misguided you a little bit with that, and I think we need to guide it from 2.7, and I think it's in there somewhere, 2.7 to 3. That's where it's looking. The response isn't strong enough. They said, okay, let's do that, but we don't want to change it again. Loud and clear. 9 months. 9 months. But we all knew we had to find the right person. They said to me, Matt, are you okay to stick with us? We'll get there. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm all in. So I'd open it up or do privates or do this or do that.
You brought the energy every day for
Every
9
day.
months.
I
You
talk
did,
to them
truly.
all the time. I'm like, because I didn't have any weirdness around it. It's when it gets weird. So when an agent, I've had them, so don't think I'm sitting here like this perfect example of a real estate agent. There's some the energy goes weird. It like disconnects. What am I going to say to them? They don't even want to talk to me. I don't think they like me anymore. Kerry and Kin, I was like, we're just going to find the right person. Are you happy to keep going? Yes, we are. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I don't renew agreements or anything. I just keep going with them. If they're happy with me, I'm happy with them. 9 months. We got the best buyer, reasonable price, 2.75. It was reasonable. It was in there somewhere. 2.8 would have been nice, but it took a while.
And they were pumped.
But everyone was on the same page. So I think, but I go and meet with them, sit down with them to say, guys, this is where we're at. Not much more we can do. I'm selling another one at the moment, an acreage up in Reeds Road. Talking to Chris yesterday, 2 weeks. Haven't got any sort of real firm interest on it. He thought it would just go crazy in 1 second. I said, mate, we'll just find the right person. He's like, we'll just keep working on it, no problem. I know it's only short, but I said to him, this could take months. So I'm always paving the road forward, always paving the road forward. It's when you create false expectation that you have the problem. So when you're in a house, you know, when people say, do you have any buyers for it? And I say, this is before it's listed. And I always say, I think every agent will say yes. I'm certain there's buyers I can talk to right now. I just don't know if they'd buy the house till they come through. That's really what it is. And they're like, yeah, that's true. So it's such a personal thing with property. I've got people I can talk to, definitely. But when you say, oh, yeah, I think I do, for sure, yeah, oh, I've got John and Jane from Sydney. They're just like, oh, I think that suits perfectly, blah, blah. They're all excited. You bring them through. What happens?
They might not buy it.
And then what happens?
They go, you liar.
You're a liar. Yeah, absolutely. I'm always paving the road forward with realistic expectation. That person who asked about, what's their name? Do you have it?
No, I don't.
No.
Sorry.
So when they say it's on the market for months, so what? Half of Australian real estate's on the market for months. Say to an owner, this is where we're at. Let's and you've got to send activity. I don't know what's happened so far, but you've got to send activity reports every week. You've got to talk to them almost daily, like you talk to your owners almost daily. I always say I have a saying, talk to an owner every day, the property will sell. And sometimes you don't know what to say, but Monday to Friday, talk to them every day and say to them, look, get it out. Like, talk about the elephant in the room. Guys, Jordan, we've been on the market for 4 months. How are you feeling?
Really stressed.
Stressed.
Not sleeping.
Yeah.
We're actually just wondering if there's ever going to sell.
Yeah. I don't think there's a property in Australia that's been on the market for 20 years, so I'm sure it will sell. But
We don't want
Are
it to
you
be on
feeling-
the market in 20 years, Matt.
are you feeling a bit worn out?
Very much so.
Yeah. Do you want to sell?
Yes, 100%.
All right, well, we have a choice. Keep going. I think it will sell. It's a bit of a specific home. It's going to sell at some point, but we just have to find the person. We just haven't found the right person. You can change agents if you want to. I don't know they'll do much different. They might get excited for a couple of weeks, but you'll be here. Is that something you want to do?
No.
No? We can upgrade the marketing a little bit. So why don't I do a bit of social for you, and why don't you do this? And just have a suggestion for them. They're the 3 things we can do. So I think a combination of 1 and 3 would be good. I don't want to change agents. I don't want you to change agents. I like working for you. I just want you to know I'm still excited about it just as much as the first day. I want to get it sold, and I think I will. I'd tell you otherwise. You're okay to keep going?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's just assess it every week or two, and we'll just see where we're at, But just be okay with it. Try not to get too tense about it, because when you get tense, the market will feel tense. Just allow it to happen when it happens. I find that's always the best way.
That's great dialogue. That's a great thing to say. I think people get into this stage, like when you're not selling it, you're right. I call my owners every single day. And and you guys stop calling them every single day. But for me, I just like James Tostovan setting his voicemail. I've just always done it. So I don't know. I feel weird if I haven't. But sometimes you just got to say, I don't really have anything to tell you, but I just wanted you to connect our energy and let you know that I'm on this thing for you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm on it.
And it's a mixture. So a face-to-face catch-up, right? Not all the time, because it's like too much.
It's weird.
But just ring. Just say, hey, Jordan, just letting you know, I don't have anything to tell you today, but I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm thinking about it all the time. I spoke to Matt, spoke to Trev about it today. We don't have any extra buyers that we've missed. So we're really just waiting for the new buyer to come into the market. Everyone that comes in, I let them know about your house.
Do you think it's when agents don't call the person for a few weeks?
Yeah.
Like, because how many listings have we
we've all done
taken over and they go, like, we haven't heard from our agent in 2 weeks. And I think, What? How does that even happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like 2 years in my world.
That's the hard part for us.
Because then you can't make it up.
Yeah, it moves away from you.
Yeah.
So you got to stay ahead of the energy. Be the energy that you want to see. And sometimes it's going to feel like you're going to have open houses, no one's coming through. And I say to people sometimes, let's just stop the open houses. Let's just do by appointment. That way, at least you know the person's keen. Then you might flip it back to open houses later if it hasn't sold. I had one the other day that they want to take it off the market. They said, Matt, I know you've done everything you physically can. It's been about 10 months. Like it's rural property, and sometimes they just take a while. And I always say to people, with rural, it's so specific. You just got to wait for the person. They said, well, let's revisit it. I said, well, that's good. Let's take it off the market. You need a rest. But if I qualify the person along the way and I find a 99% person that's going to suit it, can I still call you? Absolutely. They just you need to manage them just as much as the property sometimes. And funny enough, we've got someone who just come along now. But when you let the tension go and you let it sort of, amazing what happens.
I got a last question on that.
Yeah.
Because this is an interesting one. And you would think that any other agent would have brought this into those 3 recommendations that you had. Not once did you mention adjusting the price.
No.
And Matt, who he's in our competition, is one of my friends, and we're doing a co-listing with him. He said he called you the other day and said, oh, Matt, there's this listing here and it hasn't sold. And
I've got a co-listing with him.
Yeah,
I actually brought him in because the owner was getting a bit frustrated. I said, well, why don't we co-list it with Matt?
Yeah.
And just so they can see that he's not going to produce anything either.
And he said to you something like, is it about that time when we talk to the owner about adjusting price? You're like, nah, not happening. Just you worry about your other listings, mate. I'll worry about these ones. But when does that adjusting price, because them as our competition, they will adjust the price until someone goes, I'll buy it. But I think our business is very much, and we talk about it all the time, they look to find a buyer and we look to find the best buyer.
There is.
And we don't think about the time so much.
Yeah. On this note, I think it's our job to price them in a range that's around right somewhere. You can't always get it exactly right. Is Stormy outside? Oh, here she is. You can't always get it right, but getting it around right is sort of what we do. And I always think to myself, can I justify value to a buyer? If no one's coming, of course I'll adjust the price a little bit, but it's because no one's coming. If people are coming, I'll really be looking at what they're saying. Does they match? You've got to match the house. You have to match the house. Example. You've got a solarium right behind you here.
Yep.
$10,000. Mm-hmm. So I said, Jordan, do you want to buy that for $7,000? There you go.
No, I wouldn't use the solarium.
Why not? It's $7,000.
I don't want one.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ring in a week later. Jordan, that solarium is $5,800 now. Want to come and buy it?
Oh, not really. I'm half thinking about just buying it because it's sounding cheap now.
Yeah, but it's $5,800. How are you feeling? Like you're like, that's great.
Not really.
Not really. Okay. That's a solarium, right? Piece of tin. We're talking about a home that's so personal. The value of a home is literally made by somebody's emotion and some comparable reference. Not always, though, within reason. People say to me always, why do you get such good prices? It's because I look at the person's spending capacity plus how much they want the house, and I'll get it out of them. I can't sell you that solarium. Even if it was $2,000, you might buy it, but it's just a bargain. You probably even wouldn't. You'd be like, where am I going to put it?
I actually wouldn't. I was thinking about it just then. What would I do with it?
What would I do with it? Yeah. That's right. But if I said to you, Jordan, I've got a collector's Robert Palmer golf clubs.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
There's one of these. One. No one. Nowhere else. They've been handmade by the golf club master of the world.
You don't even need. You got me on.
Yeah,
the intro.
but this will increase.
Yeah.
you will literally have a handicap of 3 using these. That's how good they are. They are like nothing else. 10 grand.
But
Okay, great. Well, actually, someone else wants it. Sorry about this. I just had a call yesterday. They're 20 grand, but I'll promise I'll give them to you.
yeah, but
Okay, you just paid 100% more than what I first said. See how emotion works? So when I'm selling somebody's home, I'm assessing the views and the inquiries, but then I'm also looking at the one we sold in Ficus Avenue recently.
yeah, everybody
Everyone
said,
said, oh, you won't
back."
get around 10. Shut up. Just let me do my thing. But I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in 30 days. I was interested in the right buyer. It didn't take 30 days.
Would it take 6 months?
It took about, between 4 and, about 5 months, roughly 4 to 5 months. I wasn't interested in the time. My job is to service the owner, then find the right buyer. That's why I always say to the owner, when I find the right buyer, I'll know. So if something's priced at 2 million or 1.8, in my world, it's not a big deal. Is it going to stop the buyer coming if they've got one? As long as it's coming up in their search fields, is it going to stop them coming?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So, and that's why working with buyers is really important. The right buyers, building a relationship with them, understanding how much they've got to spend, finding property in your core area. That's why core area is so important. You should know the value roughly. I rarely reduce price. I have, but I rarely. Yeah, that one you're talking about, mate. I'm going to get. I've got someone there now, which Matt will get paid for it. I've got someone there. It's going to sell for a great price.
You hadn't found the right person.
But also a mix. Yeah, also mix this in right with an owner's motivation. I'm really clear with where an owner is. Really clear. Like I know how quick they want to get it sold. I know what they can and can't do. I almost make decisions for them half the time. Like I'm almost thinking to myself, like they say to me a lot of the time, well, what do you think I should do? I went to a house 2 days ago and they want to sell it. They said, oh, we're hoping for 3. And I said, not going to happen. It's probably like 2.5 and a bit better, somewhere there. And they're like, oh, I say, I could tell you 3 and put on the market, it's not going to sell. That's what it's going to happen. Or we can price it well and get interest here because they're on a time, they want to get it sold. So there's more to this than looking at the end part. What you're talking about is the end part. When it's on the market and it's just there and it's just whatever and talking about price. I look at the first part. Am I really prepared and know my stuff when I go to a listing presentation? Am I brave enough to tell an owner, No, I don't think so. It might happen, but let's not plan for that right now. Let's talk about where the market actually is and then look at how do we give you an opportunity to get there, maybe, but I don't want you listing it on that because most of them don't happen like that. Every now and then they do, but you've got to have some competition. This is how competition is made. So I'll take time with that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's more than just price reduction. Is there a time and place for price reduction? Well, look at Kerry and Kinley. I went from 3 to 2.7, but it still took me 9 months.
Yeah.
It just made it a little bit more. And I look at people coming through. If you've got a steady, and I say to people all the time, it's all about rhythm. If you've got people looking at your house and there's a steady stream of people coming, you're going to sell it. We're going to find the right person. But if no one's coming, we've got to fix it. It's like a chain. You got views, inquiries, inspections, second inspections, offers. That's how it works. And if people aren't coming, the chain is broken. Where is it broken, Jordan? Views, inquiries, inspections, second inspections, offers, sold. Where's it broken?
Depends. It's normally from inquiries to inspections.
Yeah, so
which is a price
that's
thing.
right. We're getting views. Look at all the views. 3,000. We got 3 inquiries and we've got no inspections. Where's it broken?
Price.
Yeah. So what we've got to do now is match the views to the inquiries. So when people are looking at it, you'd expect to have 50 inquiries here. This is what this property's done, how it's performed. This is what this one's done. See how it goes. This one's got 80 views. This one's got 80 inquiries. You've got 3. So people are looking at it and then not inquiring. Or people are looking at inquiring and then not inspecting. And you've got to have this chain that you look at with the owner and they can see. They're not dumb. They can see. So if we want more inspections, we've just got to make this one match up a bit better.
Yeah. That's good. You want to finish on that?
No?
No,
Oh,
I don't have any more questions.
No more questions. Well, what about you, Jordan? Let's talk about your career.
Yeah, I was hoping to get around that.
No, let's talk about your career.
Yeah.
What's on the radar for you? As a young agent, top 7 in Australia.
I'm just working on the bits that I know I can do better.
Yeah. And what are they?
Well, I wanted to get my days on market down. I talked about some of these offers that I was getting early that I wasn't having the ability to match them up because of them coming quick, and owners felt like it was too soon. So my set to sell is now fantastic. It can be better. We're working on it. I'm just working out the bits that I can do better and just making them a bit better,
So you're dialing in each part.
And I'm really trying to stay away from the low-hanging fruit and go for the high-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
It's one thing I've always been good at is creating stuff from low-hanging fruit very easily. But if you look at most of the properties that I'm good at selling, they're in the Wamberal-Terrigal marketplace.
Yeah.
The low-hanging fruit aren't in the Wamberal-Terrigal marketplace, and they're the ones that are giving me strife.
Yeah. And it's really hard to say no to business. It is hard.
I can't say no to anybody.
Yeah, I know. It is hard. But you're right. You're building your future success because it's in your backyard. The other thing is when you're connected to something like it's in your core area or around, like the apartments, you love the apartments. So when you're excited about it, you'll sell it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long it takes, you sell it because you'll find the buyers. You're every day, you're like, you want to be there. You know, like you got this passion around it. It's really hard you can't sell something you're not passionate about. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Sell that cord. So I've got a cord here. Sell that.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. Sell me your
Let
Audi.
alone sell it.
Sell me
Yeah.
your Audi.
Yeah.
See, look at your face even, lights
Yeah.
up. So when you're dealing with people, it's a transfer of energy.
Yeah.
That's on that note. That's why energy is. I'm going to get back to energy, but that's why energy is so important as well. So if you're in real estate, this is an energy game when you're dealing with people. When you're looking in their eyes, and if you're in a good space in life and you're working on yourself and you're building yourself just as much as you're building your business, you're going to have this radiance, like this keenness. I get lots of messages from agents saying, "How do I compete with a veteran agent?" So easy. And they're worn out, half of them. Like half of them worn out. They're like, whatever. You know, like some of them, not all of them, some of them. James Sostovan's not. But some of them, they've been around so long and they're just there and they're like going through the motions and a bit complacent sometimes. Not all of them. There's some really good ones. But if you're a young agent, you walk in and people say, what about age? Use it as an advantage. Say, guys, like you've said, I've got nothing else in my life. I'm here for your home 24 hours a day. But you've got to go really prepared. Really, this is the area that I look after, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Wamberal, this is the area I look after. I know every house in this area. I walk these streets and drop letters every single day, 4:30 in the morning, every day. I love it. This is the best. All of my buyers are looking in this area. All of them. So when I list your home, I've got this big bank of people I go to straight away. And if they're not the ones, I will find the right buyer for you. From 6 in the morning to 9 at night, I'm on your house. Can I show you how I negotiate? And then I would do that. And so this is the marketing schedule I've got prepared for your home. This is the best marketing schedule for properties in Wamberal. This is how many homes are sold. This is how long they've taken. You go so prepared, it's not funny. But you have this energy about you that's like, you know you're the one for them. Age doesn't. Have you ever asked has anyone ever asked for your driver's license when you're listing a house? No. Show me your ID. I don't know why age comes into it so much. I understand experience and stuff, but I'd rather deal with a keen, young, prepared agent than an older agent that's half in, half out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Especially in a market like this, a hustle market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's an advantage.
Yeah.
I really do. But there's don't get me wrong, there's some older agents that are still beasts. Like beasts. They just want it. They want to win. There's some really good ones. Michael Parlia, James Tostovan, there's many of them. Gav Rubenstein, well, he's like in the middle, isn't he?
Yeah.
Gav's like not old and not young.
Alex Phillips, good.
Alex Phillips rings me yesterday, all right? Alex Phillips rings me yesterday and goes, he rings at, when I find it. He rings me. I don't know how I tell the time here. It's like 6:17 at night. He rang me. I didn't answer. I was on the walker. I was on the treadmill. He texts me 5 minutes later. Call me when you can. I ring him and he goes, I've just sold, we have a mutual client that I referred to. He goes, we've just sold Thingo's unit, 1.5 million. He goes, so pumped. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's amazing. Awesome. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, this guy sells half of Sydney. You know, it's 10 million, 20 million, 5 million. He's got a $1.5 million unit. He's taken the time to ring me that day and tell me at 7 o'clock at night. Now, come on. What do you take out of that, Jordan?
He's keen. He's just as excited as ever.
So keen. He didn't need to ring me. I wouldn't even remember I referred it to him. He wouldn't care less. You know, I don't track any referrals I give to anyone. If they'd ever paid me again for it, I wouldn't care. And I don't even want the referral fee. It's just that. You know, it's like the keenness. The keenness. He helped my friend sell a unit. That's what he did. 7 o'clock at night, rings me. Would you list with that person or would you list with the person down the pub?
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Let's leave it on that note. The little things are the big things.